shame to complain, but we gotta have a lot more love. It's a shame to complain, but we gotta have a lot more love. It's a shame to complain, but we gotta have a lot more love. It's a shame to complain, but we gotta have a lot more love. It's a shame to complain, but we gotta have a lot more love. It's a shame to complain, but we gotta have a lot more love. It's a shame to complain, but we gotta have a lot more love. It's a shame to complain, but we gotta have a lot more love.
All right, howdy. Welcome back to Windley Mania, the greatest podcast you never heard of, brought to you by the greatest band that you have never heard of, that band being Windley. You have to go to @Windley_band on all the socials and follow us to keep up with everything that goes on in the world of Windley. I'm the best in the world, Andrew Reidner, and with me, as always, man's best friend, Devin Hopkins. How you doing, pal?
Hi, I'm Devin Hopkins. How are you?
I'm doing great. I've I was thinking on the way here, we have a podcast.
We do.
I couldn't think of a better thing to be put in the hands of two very responsible people.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just, I don't know. It's fun. I'm
yeah,
glad
yeah.
we're back.
Yeah, we're back. It feels good. I feel alive. Gives me purpose and meaning.
I've been doing a lot of these in a short amount of time.
Yeah?
So,
it's like you're just kind of like, you can't get enough of it.
I think I can get enough with it. And
well, you can't because where we're going.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I had a thing last night where I was like falling asleep, but I was having a conversation with my girlfriend, and she was talking about we were talking about textures of like food that we enjoy, and she likes like crunchy shit, like when a sandwich or a salad is crunchy, or snacks that are particularly crunchy. But I was laying there like falling asleep, going like, I was like, describe the first time you had something crunchy. How did it make you feel? Just like doing like, I was still in the mode.
You were still in broadcasting mode. You were still in Cronkite.
Well, what if Cronkite had a podcast? That'd be interesting. I'm not going to do like a bit or anything.
Not gonna do that.
I think he would look down on it. He's like, that's not broadcasting. That's fucking uneducated dopes, which is true, talking whatever lunacy they want.
Which is also
foolishness. True. That's what he would say.
But it's
so
okay.
I guess I did do a bit instead.
But it's okay because he's dead, right?
He is very dead.
He's so dead. All right, so
So
he would never say that because he's not alive.
No, he doesn't have the ability to say that because he's not breathing, nor pumping blood from his heart. He's
busy burning in hell.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't really know what his behaviors were like off the camera, but
I imagine he's burning in hell if he'd have such harsh opinions about us in the podcast.
Yeah, anyone who thinks otherwise about how we decide to use our time and how we attempt to creatively fulfill our creative itch, and if you oppose to it, you
can enjoy hell.
Yeah, you can. There's a special place for you in hell,
yeah.
and go to. No, I love our listenership. Our if you were to take all the followers we had across social medias and divided that by like a triple digit number, that's our like followership, and they're always loyal.
Yes.
And they always show up, except for like the Bubba Graham people. Like they kind of like came in for Bubba and dipped out immediately. They weren't going back to listen to like Yogi Bear or some bullshit like that.
That's their loss.
Yeah,
they're not going to hell, but it is their loss.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah. Anyways, we're not alone this evening. We have a very, very, very handsome guest. You thought I was going to say special, but not that special. More so handsome. I'm kidding. But no, I'm not kidding about the handsome thing.
He's special.
It has been a long day, I'll tell you that much. He's a man that has been around in the scene for, as far as I know, quite some time. And he's he's the best drummer, one of the better drummers in Myrtle Beach. I don't want to like make a list or anything, but he's, if you're in this area of the country, or maybe you've seen him at shows, you're always going to remember watching him play drums, because I've always remembered watching him play drums. And you want to do the full name? I was going to name it just your first name, but I'll do the full. Kyle Brewster.
Oh man.
Get in the mic, dude. Come on, man.
Get in the mic. Okay.
Yeah, come on. How you doing, pal?
Good. I would rather be called handsome than special, probably any day. I mean, special's not as special as it used to be, but I think handsome's a good one. I'll take it.
Yeah. Kyle's handsome. Devin's special. Yeah. So, again, currently you're playing drums in, what's that band called again? What is it called? Tourneforte.
Tourneforte.
Yeah. And I've seen you play in other projects. And I have to ask, before I get into like your history, your lore, as one would say, every time I'm around you or have a conversation with you or see you at a show, which I guess is entailed to the other things. Long day, dude. You were always very calm and always just a very go with the flow demeanor. I have to ask you, have you ever been angry, and what makes you angry? What makes you pissed off?
What makes me pissed off?
Yeah.
Podcasts.
Okay.
That's not what my answer was going to be, but he's
So
not wrong.
This is you angry right now.
This is about as angry as I get.
Wow. Seems so.
It feels like a 10 right now.
Yeah. But really, what makes you mad, dude? I want to get you worked up before we get into it. I want to get that heart rate going.
I feel like it's already going.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like stupidity makes me mad, but
Stupidity,
that's like
what
such
do you
an
mean by
easy answer.
Describe like what kind of stupidity kind of makes you.
Not like silly stupid.
I was about to say, you're in a
Just
band with Devin. So, I mean.
You take things and you let certain things go.
Yeah.
But, like, you got a drill and you got a screwdriver, but you use the screwdriver.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You mind talking about your shoot job? Mentioning your shoot job. You work with your hands a lot.
I'm an electrician.
Yeah.
I touch wires. I use drills.
Not screwdrivers, though.
I use screwdrivers sometimes, but only when it's convenient.
Given the choice.
If it's not convenient, then I'm not going to use it. But I'm not sure, man.
You're like Tim the Toolman Taylor, sort of?
I'd say so. I didn't used to be. I actually used to be pretty terrible with tools.
Oh.
But then I picked
what
it
got
up.
you into tools?
I needed to do it to play music, or else I was going to be homeless. It honestly seemed like the right way to go.
Yeah.
It's okay, I guess.
Well, I mean, it seems like, I guess when you were talking about what makes you mad, it has to do with that when you're in that area.
Yeah,
So
okay.
there's that trade-off where, you have to make a living, but that's the only time you'll ever be pissed off is while you're making that living.
Honestly, yeah, I will say that it's a lot easier for me to get mad at work than it is for me to get mad in like regular life or like band life. Because first off, I already don't want to be there. And then, like, if things are even dumber than me not wanting to be there, then it's just like mad.
Yeah. What's interesting. You're so calm about it too.
Even when you talk about your anger,
Yeah.
you're still.
I try to be like a fairly calm person.
Have you always been a calm person? Were you ever rambunctious in your childhood?
No, not really.
Yeah,
I was bullied a lot.
Oh, wow.
So no.
No. All right. Well, how long? Was drums your main instrument?
Actually, no. I started playing guitar first.
Guitar. When was that? What got you into guitar?
So I had this friend that I met in middle school, and I thought he was much cooler than me because he told me he was much cooler than me. He played guitar, and I was like, oh, I want to do that too. So then we just spent the next like 7 years playing Metallica songs in our bedrooms by ourselves.
7 years of Metallica.
Not together. Like, we would just be on the phone like, oh, hey, what song did you learn? Oh, I learned this one. And we never played the songs together. We just would giggle about it and laugh on the phone late at night.
Try to out Metallica the other.
Yeah, or Joe Satriani, like anything like that. We were really big into like the G3 guitarists, Joe Satriani and Steve Vai and John Petrucci.
You were starting off with that
great
stuff?
guitarists.
I was trying to.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, oh, we probably were okay, but realistically, it honestly was probably dog shit. But it was fun.
I mean, you were still like learning pretty advanced stuff at fairly early on, as opposed to fucking
Green
the
Day.
first song one of the
Blink-182.
first songs I learned was a Wild Thing. on guitar.
Nothing wrong with that. One of the first birthday cards my grandma got me played Wild Thing for me.
Was it an animal singing Wild Thing?
It was an animal singing Wild Thing.
Was it a monkey in a leather jacket?
It might have been a bulldog in a leather jacket.
Oh, okay. See, but it was a leather jacket.
It was definitely a leather jacket.
And I feel like it was either Wild Thing or Bad to the Bone. Like those cards.
I feel like she's given me both cards, but initially it was definitely Wild Thing.
So when did you did you ever do anything with guitar, or like that early on?
No, I mean I wanted to, in a way. I guess in a way, like I liked the idea of being in a band, but I didn't know about DIY scenes or about scenes or anything like that. So it was really just like sitting in the bedroom. But I will say there was a point where we were playing like all that kind of stuff and trying to learn that type of stuff. And then I was like, oh, Blink-182, Green Day. And I switched hard to that stuff. And for some reason was like, oh.
I like the transition people usually go is like they start with that and then find the harder stuff later.
Nah, I was like, oh, this stuff's cool, but if they can do that, I can do that.
Right.
Something about it appealed to me. I don't really know what, but something appealed to me more. Maybe it was more attainable, but I want to say that I didn't play in a band until maybe my junior year talent show.
Oh, well, were you playing guitar or drums?
I played guitar.
What did you
Okay.
guys play?
It was like a Bullet for My Valentine, like 3 Days Grace type sounding thing.
Was it an original song or did you do a cover?
It was an original song. We didn't
Oh,
do a
wow.
cover. The band was Half Past Midnight, and it was super edgy at the time. But
Yeah.
now it's just kind of like,
Half past midnight. It's not.
It's not too late,
Yeah.
really.
it's not too late,
Yeah.
but it's
You're
late
not-
enough to be bad, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like 3:18, a.m. That's pretty late,
I could still get like a McDouble.
depending on which location.
Oh yeah.
So
We won't get into that. The
We won't get into that.
gerrymandering of the local McDonald's
Yeah.
and what they offer in their late night menus.
I could go a whole podcast about that.
Yeah. So you're starting with Metallica riffs, John Petrucci, Joe Satriani, and then got into the pop punk. What did you have like any like what was your like parents or any relatives? Did they show you anything?
No, they did not.
Oh,
They
okay.
listened to 90s country and anything prior.
Just like country?
a lot of Brooks and Dunn, like Alan Jackson,
Yeah.
like Randy Travis,
Yeah.
stuff
Pretty
like
solid
that.
stuff.
Was it your friend that kind of introduced you to other stuff, or did you
Honestly,
find that on your own?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the friend that introduced me to Metallica, and then I was sold on that for a while, and then got into that type of stuff. And I honestly think that the only reason that I even listened to my other friend, who was like, "Oh, you should listen to punk stuff," was because Metallica's kind of thrashy. So
Okay.
in my mind, it was like, "Oh, that's essentially the same thing."
Yeah.
But no, honestly, everything that I listen to now and everything that was like formative for me wasn't shown to me until probably 7th or 8th grade or further on by just people I knew.
Yeah.
Before that, I feel like I didn't really have a music identity. Like I was just kind of struggling. Like, oh, do I like hip hop? Like, do I like this? I tried a lot of things. Tried a lot of different styles. Not everything worked. I still don't know that everything works, but I tried.
Do you
I
sort of
dabble.
do you embrace it all now, pretty much? Or-
I'd say so more now than ever.
Yeah.
At least as far as listening. I think at that point in time, I was like, oh, whatever I listen to is how I have to be. Like I have to be just like this, just like this. And now
yeah.
I just kind of don't give a shit, I guess, in a way. And I feel like
I think everyone gets to that point.
in middle school, I was even that way, but I didn't realize it. I was just like, I'm just going to wear the clothes I like to wear. And if you guys think I'm lame, that's fine, but whatever.
You're late.
Which it was fine. Everything got better. I learned who I was, you know.
Yeah. Who's that? It's Kyle. That's who it
Kyle.
is.
Handsome
It's actually
Kyle.
Raymond.
Wait, hold
Whoa.
on. Well, wait a minute.
We got a government name.
The shoot name is even fucking Kyle.
No, it's not.
Wow. It's Randall Kyle?
It's Raymond.
Raymond Kyle.
Raymond Kyle.
That's pretty nice. Raymond Kyle Bruce. That's nice. I can
Works. My
understand.
parents named me Raymond with no intention of ever calling me that.
Was it like a family name or something? Or
It's like my dad. I mean, I guess it was my dad's name and my grandpa's name, and that's important somewhat. I guess that's why. But
Yeah.
Your sitcom. No, this is so stupid. Your sitcom would be Everybody Calls Him Kyle.
I've heard a lot of like, oh, everybody loves Raymond, but that's the first time I've ever heard what you just said.
Well, I got a big open mind, dude.
You're very original.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm so fucking.
They call him Original Andy.
Yeah. They call me Famous Andy for some reason.
they call you
I still haven't
Famous.
caught on that one.
You're famous.
Hey, that's new to
original
me,
Andy.
but I'll take it.
I think about it at night sometimes. What do they mean by that?
Dude, you're famous.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. When did you transition to drums then?
So I played guitar up until. I mean, I still play guitar, but
Yeah, you're still
And-
very.
and-
I didn't mention that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Kyle is a very, very good guitar player.
you have to stop being nice to me. I'm going to withdraw.
Because we've been playing together for fun. There might be a thing we might do later, but doesn't really matter. But the important part is we got to play. Well, I got to play with Kyle. You already played with Kyle, but I got to play with Kyle, and he's a very, very good guitar player. And that's real. I hope we can do that again soon. That's really fun. But what were you saying about your drums?
I got into high school, and then I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And I, by chance, ended up in a percussion class where, like, the band director didn't care. Like, it was just, like, a bullshit free period for him. And he, like, would teach us how to do drum stuff on the back of chairs. We weren't even good enough to play on drums. He was
Damn.
just like, the chairs you sit in, that's the chairs you drum on. We just, like, learn rudiments and learn stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I do this thing where I get obsessed with things, and I got obsessed with the fact that I wasn't doing as good as some of the other people. So all I would do was go home and just do that on chairs at my mom's house, which somehow were better chairs. But
Did she get annoyed at that?
yeah, there's so many other things that I've drummed on that I've broken that she doesn't know about and does know about, but we won't go too deep into that. But no, like I just had this percussion class by chance, and then he was like, "Oh, you're doing okay. Maybe you should come hang out with the marching band." And I got big into marching band, got super obsessed, and all I did was marching band. And I didn't start playing drum set until my senior year, and then I was like, maybe I'll give this a try.
How long? I don't want to age you or anything, but how long ago was that? I just want to get in my mind, like
11 years.
So you've been
like that.
drumming on a kid for 11 years. Wow, that's You must be drumming a lot because like people like I don't know. I don't really know like the time frame of like how a drummer's supposed to progress.
I don't either. That's unknown.
So
Is anyone really supposed to progress at a certain time frame?
yeah, no, that's true. No one's really
Time
supposed,
is
but,
fake, dude.
But like on average,
yeah.
yeah.
No, and then I didn't even play in a band until college.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Did you have aspirations to be in like drum corps when you were obsessed with? What is it
Yes,
called?
I did do drum corps,
Oh,
actually.
you did?
Yes.
Yeah? What did you do in that?
I played snare drum in this like all ages drum corps. It was not the same as regular drum corps, but it was still kind of cool. Like I played in this all ages corps in Atlanta and just kind of did that for weekends for a while. And then I did indoor drum lines independently, which was essentially just like every weekend you'd go practice with all these people that you didn't know and didn't go to school with. And just at the end of the year, you'd go compete in like Dayton, Ohio, or throughout the year, you'd just do like regionals in whatever fucking state they
Yeah.
wanted to go to.
I bet that helped a lot too. Just always.
I'd say so. It like definitely was very formative. It's still something that I'm super interested in, but I've lost a lot of like the major interest in it. Like I
Yeah.
keep up with it some here and there, but as far as like sitting in my room and practicing rudiments and learning like, oh, what drum chord did this drum break and how do I play it? Like those days are long gone.
Excuse me. So what was you start? Why'd you start playing on a drum? Did you say why you started playing on a drum kit?
I thought it would be cool.
Okay.
It looked cool.
Did you have one or what?
No, it was like they had a jazz band when I was in high school.
Okay,
so I just like
yeah.
started being in the jazz band, and I was really terrible at it, which just made me want to do it more. Until I just wasn't terrible, and I'd still say that I was like mediocre for a long time, but I was like getting through some jazz stuff, and like I was happy with my work, and I was like, oh, cool, here's a new thing that I can do. I can play Pink Panther.
Some Mancini. I know that's the guy who made the song. What high school did you go to?
I went to Palmetto High School in Williamston, South Carolina, which is in Anderson, which is near Greenville.
Oh, that's right. You're from out of Green. Yeah, that's right. I always forget that
From
fact.
far, far away.
Yeah, that's fucking way too far. How long did it take you to get to Myrtle Beach?
I graduated high school, went to college in Asheville for a year. That's where I was in my first band, was there.
I'll
but
ask you about that. But
then after that, I was like, well, I wasn't like, my parents were like, oh, it's too expensive here. We can't afford for you to go to school here. Choose somewhere else. And the cheapest option was Coastal. So down to Coastal I went.
what was the whole first band experience? Well, I guess you were in what was it? After midnight or 10 minutes after midnight?
Half past midnight.
Half past midnight. That was your first band experience, I guess, with the guitar. Do you keep in touch with any of those people?
I do not.
No. Was it just for that one thing, or did you guys?
Yeah, the dude had written a song, so we all learned it and like practiced that one song for like 2 months, and then just did the talent show and had all sorts of aspirations to like play other shows, and then that just never happened, and the band fell apart, and I was like, oh, I guess this just happens.
Can you do
Went out on top, I'd say.
Yeah, sure. Can you do an a cappella version of the song? What was the song called?
I don't even know what the song was called.
Oh, but do you remember?
I had a guitar solo.
Oh, shit. Wow. Do you do anything? Can you remember anything from it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
was hoping to get some.
I know you were hoping for something, and it's just
quarter past 11:30 or whatever.
What I can tell you is I had a guitar solo. We did the talent show, and
Oh yeah, who won?
I walked. We did.
Oh, nice.
Actually,
There you go.
but I played my guitar solo facing backwards as far to the back of the stage as possible.
Yeah.
Like a
Everyone was
real
like,
rocker.
"Why did you do that?" I was like, "I was scared."
Yeah.
And that's just kind of my answer for a lot of things. So
Never mind. This isn't about me. I was going to talk. Okay. Well, I'm
I
just say
want to
something.
hear about you.
Let me just say something.
Please.
Sometimes I play away from the crowd because I love locking in with Connor. That is like that is what I do with that when I play guitar. So I always wonder. I'm always like self-conscious, like, oh, they probably think I'm fucking bitching out, but no, I love locking in with that dude, and like that's and I like to look at Devin have fun too. But anyways, that's just, I don't know. I had that thought.
Now I feel
Plus-
bad for not using that as my excuse.
Plus, no, you don't want to show people the greatness. Of what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't want
Then
anyone to tab out my solos or
Yeah,
anything.
they're gonna copy you, and they're gonna say that, like,
Yeah.
and they're gonna take all the credit, and then
And then I'm a loser.
then you're the loser, because then you're gonna be like, they're gonna be famous, and then like 30 years later, you'll be like, yeah, I showed them that.
You know what? Thank you, Devin.
Yeah, so I got you. I got your back.
You really put words in my mouth.
So you weren't scared.
You weren't scared. You was
You were
just
just locking in with the drummer, and you didn't want your greatness to be exposed.
Yeah. I also
like any true.
slammed a crash cymbal with my headstock.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
I know. It's a real highlight.
yeah. All right. So then you go to college, and what's this band?
They're called Forgive Me for Yesterday.
Forgive me for yesterday. Were you playing drums?
Yes.
Forgive me for describe Forgive Me for Yesterday.
A Day to Remember.
Wow, that's even the name.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be the name of like a Day to Remember.
Yeah,
tribute
no, say
band.
less. I mean, it wasn't as cool, but we tried.
Yeah.
It's like my first pop punk experience, and I was like, "Oh, this is great."
So it was a pop punk band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "No, this is cool." We recorded like 1 6-song EP. We called it an album, but obviously, I guess it wasn't. And then I don't think those songs even got released.
Damn.
Oh,
I was
really?
gonna
The
go
guy,
do some digging.
the guy was asking for a bunch of money about it, even though at first he was like, "Oh no, I'll pay for it. Like, you guys just come up. Like, we'll do that." We did that, and then no one paid, so he recycled the songs into his next band, and that band just died. Second band that died.
Wow. So how'd you get involved with that? Like what?
One of the dudes that was in the percussion studio at the college I went to in Asheville was also in this like technical metal band, and I guess had played a show with this other band, and was like, "Oh, they're looking for a drummer. You should play with them." And like I did, and they're like, "Oh, cool. You kind of get it. Like, we'll try this." And it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, the band was pretty good for what it was.
Yeah.
But just sometimes dreams just don't come true.
Did it help you? What say again? Sorry.
Sometimes dreams just don't come true.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What could have been?
Hey, well, you can never forget what happened yesterday, or forgive.
Yeah.
After that, did I guess that really helped. Your playing, right?
I'd say so. It got me into like other bands. Like that was the first time I had heard of the Wonder Years, and I got into stuff like that, which just led to like The Story So Far and Man Overboard, and pretty much like the big pop punk bands at the time. I just got super obsessed with and was like, oh, we're just copying them. Let's keep doing that. Like this is pretty cool.
Sure. Copying.
I dig it.
Yeah, it's like, you know what we had?
In the best sense of the term, copying. Like it was a good thing.
You were paying
It was fine.
Paying
tribute.
tribute.
Yes.
It was an homage. Every song was just an homage.
Homage.
Yes.
A tip of the hat.
Yes. They say imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yeah.
So they were flattered.
Do you keep up with those people?
Every now and then, there's two of the guys. Unrelated. I mean, I guess it is related. One of the dudes went to prison for like 10 years. I don't keep up with him, but that's related but unrelated. And the other two guys, one of them I'm pretty sure stole my Tom DeLonge signature Epiphone guitar. I can't prove it.
What?
And to this day, I don't know where it went, but I'm like nearly 95% sure that this guy stole my guitar.
Damn.
Yeah, you don't just lose a guitar, really.
Yeah, no. It's in a case and everything. Just disappeared, you know?
Yeah. So no reunion show for either of these
Probably not.
prior bands.
What
I
if we
do
get enough,
listen to some of the songs.
What if we get
every now
enough
and
like
then.
GoFundMe signatures or whatever?
GoFundMe for a band Did they do that?
Or no, change.org is what I meant.
Changed. Yeah, the petition site.
Yeah.
I'm about to say.
Same difference.
So then you what year did you start going to CCU, which is for people out of town, the college here in Myrtle Beach. Well, Conway, but Myrtle Beach.
Sean's up.
Yeah.
2013.
2013. So what did you get involved with the scene around here then, or how
No,
long?
not immediately.
Yeah.
I just pretty much was like, oh, great, now I'm in Myrtle Beach. And I just did the marching band thing, kept doing what I was doing in Asheville here, and just kind of stuck to the music thing. For probably my first semester, it probably wasn't until I started dating this girl that like would go to open mics that like I even knew that there was some sort of music scene here. We'd go to the open mic. And
At Fresh Brewed?
At Fresh Brewed.
Nice.
Been there.
Do you remember your first experience at Fresh Brewed?
The only thing I really remember is we went to an open mic. Quinn played a Jackson May song. Quinn Sakala,
Yeah.
just to be more specific. Played a Jackson May song. And I was like, oh, this dude's pretty cool. And that's kind of my introduction to essentially all of you guys in the Myrtle Beach scene was Quinn Sakala.
Yeah. Did he lead you to his car and give you a unmarked CD?
Not that day.
Okay.
I think we all have that same one.
Everyone has that experience. I feel
I didn't
like.
know that was like a group experience. Honestly, I felt very special, not handsome, until this very moment.
I've still got it. It says Quinn Sakala June demo.
I
or something
remember
like that.
he gave me a CD one time, and then that dude played
Did
all.
you give him a CD's nuts?
No, I did not. There was this one time where he gave me a CD, and then he played all the time. So at the next show, he asked me what song he should play from the new CD, and I didn't listen to that fucking thing. I was like, and then he got distracted. Thank God, someone
Makes
pulled him
sense.
aside. I was like, oh, sweet. And then I looked on Bandcamp at the new CD, and I just was like, this one, play this. I was like, yeah, Quinn, play that one. And then I don't know if he did or not. I don't know what the fucking thing sounded like. But yeah. So he got hooked in by the old QC, huh? At the old FB. So
FBOM.
when did you start playing?
So, outside of going to open mics, I think
Okay,
I
go
went to like that one open mic, maybe another one after that, and then didn't fuck with it for a while after that.
Yeah.
Until the next semester when a friend of mine, Jamie Lynn Blade, started playing bass at Coastal. And I guess through this other guy we knew, Mark Kendry, he started playing in this band with Nick Zara. And I think I went out to see them once at Fresh Brewed maybe. And I was like, oh, they're pretty good. And I liked Jamie a lot. So I was like, oh, man, if I can hang out with you more, like this would be great. So then I just like started going over to Nick Zara's house and trying to be like, hey, let me jam.
What band was that?
For the Birds.
That was
What was the band he was playing? Was that For the Birds that he was already playing with?
Yeah, he was playing with this like reggae rock Nick's era or?
Or I guess Nick and whoever else was.
That was the band at the time. I know shortly before that they had Dirt Life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I had nothing to do with
Mentioned in
that
last
until
week's
a reunion
episode.
show, much, much later.
Yeah.
But they did this like kind of, I guess it was sort of indie rock, like sort of proggy.
And you're talking about For the Birds.
For the
now.
Birds,
Yeah.
correct. It was like kind of proggy, I guess. Like it reminded me of some things I had heard before, and like I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of like the more riffy stuff that I like, but it's kind of punk. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like maybe I should just play with them. And essentially begged my way into that band
Oh,
until one day Nick's era was like, I guess I could use a lead guitar player.
weird. You lead guitar, huh?
I started playing guitar with them.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you play drums with him at one point too?
I didn't play drums until they were supporting cast.
That's right. Okay, so I did see both iterations of you in that band. Because I did see y'all at Fat Cat, and then I saw y'all at like Rockin' Hard or something. So that was
Yeah, I saw you guys at Fat Cat too.
Yeah,
But do you remember the first time we heard For the Birds?
I'm pretty sure.
I just had like a memory fucking explode.
I'm pretty sure I was. It would have been at Fat Cat then, right?
No. We were shown a video of For the Birds. We were with Ryan.
Yeah.
This might have been at the Tavern.
Okay.
I think he was playing a Drew set.
Yeah.
And I forgot the guy's name, but he, I think he played in bands around here. His name was like Pac something.
Lapaka?
Lapaka. It was Lapaka showed us a video of For the Birds, and I remember you and I going like, this band's really cool. And then we were like, we wanted to see them, and then when they played Fat Cat, we were like,
oh, that's the band.
we get to go see this band now.
I usually remember shit like that, and
I just
you
had
don't.
a fucking.
I don't remember. I kind of do now.
This was
we would have
like
been
10 years ago.
We would have been in 10th grade.
This is all blowing my mind
Yeah.
right now.
We would have been in
Because For the Birds
10th or
had that.
we would have been like 10th or 11th grade.
It had that poppy, slightly progressive sound.
Yeah, and we had
punky.
like just gotten balls deep into Coheed, so
Yeah.
like
And see, I wasn't there yet. I was about to get there.
yeah.
Okay.
So it was
I
like
wasn't quite there.
It was that band and like Nowhere playing in that building at the same during the same time.
Yeah.
It was just like a holy shit for me and Andrew. It's like, really? There's like local bands playing this type of music?
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
So funny.
That must have was that show with Nowhere. Do you remember anything about playing at Fat Cat Cafe with For the Birds?
Yes, but I don't remember any lineups. We played there like several times. And I don't remember any of the
seems
lineups
like everybody
except for
played
when
there
Jimmy
many
played
times.
there as Tourneforte when he was still doing it just acoustic.
I think I was at one of those
I don't know if
shows. Might have caught one of those.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because that was when everybody was playing too much.
Yeah, it literally was
Yeah.
too much.
And that
there was
was
no scene because of it, essentially.
That was the main
I mean,
place.
there was stuff going on,
Yeah.
but it was just
It was a fucking
it was just
clusterfuck.
like it was just the same thing over and over and over again.
How many Kid Kappa shows did we play at Fat Cat? We played there like
48.
Yeah, 48. And
48 times.
It was
and that was only
local.
February.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all the times I've seen, one of the guys do an acoustic set, there were so many of those times, so they all kind of run together for me.
I
Yeah.
get that.
So I kind of forget. But so the first band officially in Myrtle Beach was For the Birds.
Yes, definitely.
But then it switchly, that's weird because obviously it quickly transitioned to supporting cast.
Yeah, which was it's a weird transition. The only reason that it happened was because we lost the drummer, and it was like, oh, I guess I'll play drums. I know how to do that.
You sure do.
And then we didn't have thanks, man. And then we didn't have another guitar player, so we just didn't do that. And Jamie sort of still played bass with us, but he was like very on and off. So really we didn't have a bass player. We like sort of did. And then for some reason the solution to having less members was to change the name to a Propaganda themed name,
Propagandhi.
even though we don't
Propagandhi
sound
album.
like Propaganda at
No.
all.
I remember I was into that album. That was really close to the release of that album.
It really was. That was like
And-
2013 or something when that album came out. 13 or 14.
Something I don't
Yeah.
remember, but I remember that album had pretty recently came out, and I was a big fan of it. And then that band popped up, and then hearing it, I was like, well, this is nothing like Propaganda.
Yeah, I know. It's very, very
This guy is
interesting.
not angry about
Canadian politics.
right-winged hockey commentators.
This guy doesn't like hockey. This guy doesn't know hockey.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hockey.
Yeah, that sample I always...
Yeah.
So, supporting cast, I remember at the time it was kind of like in and out. Like it was active and then it wasn't active and then it was active. Can you describe your time with that band?
So once it switched to supporting cast, we didn't really have a bass player, so we weren't really actively playing shows. But me and Nick would still actively like write stuff and just try and come up with things. And we were getting into like Midwest emo bands, like Into It, Over It is really the only big one at the time that he was trying to emulate a lot. So I was like, okay, that's cool, and which kind of triggered a shift in me for that. But aside from that, we were like trying to come up with concepts. We had this like 3 EP concept where we were like, oh, we'll have one that's like, forget what it was, like Initiate, whatever. And then
I think I remember that.
there was,
I
it was like a
remember one of-
3-parter.
yeah.
The only 2 parts of it ever came out, but it was supposed to be like 3 EPs that were 3 songs and then a hidden track. And then each one was supposed to have a theme. And we started with 2 themes, Acclimate and Initiate. That's what it was. And I don't remember.
Masturbate.
I mean, that probably was the third one.
Ejaculate.
It's probably unreleased somewhere, but
Yeah.
The Ejaculate is unreleased.
we worked on that for a while, and we did the 2, and those were cool. We recorded them all ourselves, which we thought they were really good at the time. And I'm still somewhat proud of the material. I'm not super excited with the way that it turned out sounding, but it's still kind of cool to listen back and be like, oh, I did that. And there's some things that I'm cool about, but we're big on concept records and like Pink Floyd, and that's when I was getting into Coheed. So like we were all trying to do things like that, but sort of like never really finished, never followed through with a lot of it.
Yeah.
But that was like the big goal kind of at the time, was just to write concept records, but we didn't have a bass player or anyone else to play in the band, and we couldn't lock anyone down.
That reminds me, Nick texted, I was like 17. I was like 16 or 17. Nick had texted me. He somehow got my number and said, hey, do you want to play bass?
You could have been in our band.
Yeah, we're about to go on tour. And I was like, I'm in school. I'm in high school. I have to go learn. I have to go learn knowledge. I can't be in the band.
Kyle has a look on his face like, man, this band could have been pretty good.
I mean, it's probably good that it wasn't good. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm better off, but it would have been much
Sure.
better with Devin.
Yeah.
17-year-old me in a band with like...
You,
how
you think he's insufferable now.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Yeah,
I was
mean,
a
that-
real piece of shit.
Maybe that would have affected our friendship today.
It would have
You
probably,
would've- you
it would
wouldn't
have
be
probably
here, pal.
affected my like young brain in a bad way.
Yeah, he'd be like, I'm on tour, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't need that. It was a terrible
It would
tour.
have probably been...
We slept in parking garages. We slept at rest areas.
That would have probably would have probably steered me in a direction far away from
I
music.
gotta go to college.
I would have been like, I would probably be a doctor or something. I don't know. It would have steered me in a completely different path.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Well,
I should've
glad you
done it.
didn't respond.
No, I just told him like, sorry, I'm still in high school. I can't do that.
Yeah.
My grandparents will be mad.
Well, the tour still happened. We still slept in a Trailblazer that was too small.
Oh God.
And
Were you a duo?
no, we had Joe Mercier who
Oh,
was
wow.
playing bass with
yeah,
us at
that's
the time.
right. I remember that.
Yeah.
now,
I
too,
remember
yeah.
seeing him.
And
play
Joe
with you
did
guys.
Joe did really good for the time that he was there. I will say it was kind of not something he expected, and definitely was a challenge for him. But he stepped up to the plate. He did pretty good. We got through a tour, and then the band slowly died, as they do.
Sometimes bands die.
But that tour was good. It was fun. Taught me a lot about what I probably didn't want out of another tour.
Yeah. And I
But-
guess that was your first experience doing that, right?
Definitely was. And it was only like maybe 7 or 8 days. Like, it wasn't crazy,
That's
but
still,
at the time, like, it was fun. We did the whole. We drove over the whole Northeast. We played like maybe a quarter of it. We drove more than we played. That did happen, but it was fun. I mean, it was different. It was enough to make me want to keep doing it.
Do any shows stick out in your mind from that one?
We played one show in Pennsylvania at this house. I'm pretty sure I remember it called the Highland House.
Okay.
Jimmy and Quinn would know better because they both played the same house. But all I know is we played there. They brewed their own beer. That was cool. So, like, we drank the beer that they brewed, and we played the show, and the bands were cool. The other bands were like Pink Floyd, like
Pink Floyd played at a house in Pennsylvania.
Pink Floyd-esque bands.
What about say?
My mistake. That
Did they bring the whole like light show and stuff too?
I mean,
they brought the whole thing.
Was David Gilmour?
David
Dark
Gilmour.
Side, top to bottom.
David Gilmour. He would do.
Was super crazy.
You just play the hits from that one.
But no, we played that show. That happened. The bands were psychedelic or whatever. And then they fed us all ham, and you're like, oh, this ham's great.
Ham.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, it's kind of a weird thing. Just
In
like,
Pennsylvania, where do you get what's that shit called?
it was ultimately called dumpster ham because it was from a dumpster.
I'm sorry, I'm eating a Cliff Bar.
We didn't. I mean, that sounds better than the ham. But
Wait, I think I heard about the dumpster ham recently.
this dude that owned the house like would go dumpster diving for stuff regularly, and he fed everyone the ham and didn't tell anyone until after the fact that he found it in the dumpster earlier that day.
After everyone said, this is really, really good.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Do you
that's
want to know my secret?
pretty much how it happened.
What's the ham they got up there called? It's kind of like Spam. Son of a bitch.
You're not talking about like pork roll, are you?
No. We should definitely spend like 20 minutes trying to remember what that meat is called. It starts with an S, I think. Man, I
But
can't
it's
remember.
not spam.
Not Spam.
Tweet at Windley_band if you know what meat I'm talking about. We've never done one of those. Man, what's that shit called? Anyways,
I believe you.
Oh,
It's got like a goofy Scrapple.
Scrapple.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got like a goofy name.
Scrapple. It wasn't Scrapple. It
Yeah.
was like straight up a ham from the dumpster.
No, it was real ham, like Thanksgiving, like ham.
Yeah.
That was about it. I think we like stayed at his grandparents' house. Not the ham, Nick Zara.
Not the ham
we
parents.
stayed at Nick Zara's grandparents' house for like 3 days, not doing music stuff and just like being delinquents for no reason. Which I thought is what you did on tour, but apparently you play shows.
Sometimes you gotta play shows.
We didn't. We played some of those, but
I hate that part.
we mostly just hung out.
Hang,
But the dumpster ham,
hanging out's fun.
that happened.
We get to the place. I'm fucking chilling. And it's like, hey, get your stuff. I'm going to play music. Oh, Jesus. Leave me alone. But, I jest. All right, so supporting cast crawled in a bathtub and withered away. What was after supporting cast?
So during the like last part of supporting cast is when me and Jimmy started playing together as Tourneforte.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. I know him.
Yeah. James Lee Uzzle,
Yeah.
the meat man.
Mr. Jimmy.
Yeah. I still haven't sampled his meat.
We were talking about how Jimmy's never invited me over to sample his meat.
Everyone else in the band? Well, you're just a
They all
fill-in.
live together.
Me, Jimmy, and Jose.
I'm a long-term fill-in.
Okay. Still haven't got any meat?
Still haven't got to.
Why don't you serve
We're waiting on him to commit. All right.
Jimmy, why don't you serve Devin some meat? Serve him some of your meat, dude.
Yeah,
He wants
Jimmy,
it inside
please.
him.
yeah. You have my number.
Yeah.
You have my number. You know where I live.
We have a band chat.
Yeah, we have band chats.
Just come over and give him some of your meat.
Yeah,
He wants to put his mouth on it.
all of it.
Yeah. This is that's penis stuff, by the way. If you weren't following along.
Shout out to penises.
Shout out to dicks
Yeah.
and balls. All right, so this was just Tourneforte at this time yet, or was that still like
So the way that started was I played this terrible show at Rockin' Hard with this other band called Miracle Year. I was just filling in with Miracle Year. Just filling in.
Miracle Year? What was
I
that?
vaguely
It was
remember-
like some other like pop punk band with breakdowns, and they played the backing tracks and samples, and it was awful.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's
It
right
was
up
cool.
Andrew's alley.
That sounds cool.
Andrew
was
loves
great.
that stuff.
It was great.
Cool.
But we played that show, and I was given a CD from Jimmy's sister Jessie that just said James Lee Uzzle, and it was like whatever the EP name was. I can't remember if he had stuck with Newcoming at that time and wrote it on there or not. So that part's hazy. I guess that part doesn't matter. But she had given me the CD, and I listened to it. I was like, "Yo, this guy's pretty good." And that's kind of where me and Jimmy first kind of met, was through that. And then I was like, I need to be in this guy's band. So then I started being in this guy's band, and we just like play music in the music room at his mom's house. And I don't know if he remembers this, but I remember this. Our first show, at least together, I don't even think we had decided on a name yet, was some weird thing that happened at a garage. I don't remember what other bands played. All I know is there were people there, and Jimmy played acoustic guitar in his songs, and I tried to make up lead guitar parts and hang, but really all I ended up doing was not playing guitar and singing with him. It was pretty great, but he might have repressed that. But after
that one's probably not on his big spreadsheet.
Yeah.
that's kind of where it started.
I don't know. Maybe how many people were there?
Maybe like 10.
It might be on there. The
10,
data's there.
Double digits. Yeah. So, what was the band not called What were you about to say?
I don't think that the band was called Tourneforte at the time. I remember me and Jimmy having this conversation where he would just shoot me things he was Googling and be like, what about this? What about this? And he had stumbled
Giraffe
upon
penis. Elephants giving birth. He was Googling a lot of weird animal stuff for some reason.
I wasn't really liking where he was going with it for a minute. Like, it was very creepy.
Elephants giving birth is a terrible name.
But then he sent me this like flower, and he was like, "Oh, this is the Tourneforte. The dude who invented it, or I guess he didn't invent it. He found it. My bad. His name was Tourneforte. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but he was like, this looks pretty cool. So then I was like, yeah, that's good. And then he stuck with Tourneforte. And then I think Nick Zara played bass with us for a couple shows before we locked down Quinn. But that's just kind of where it started.
That's where it started. What year was that?
2015.
2015.
2015.
Were you on the first EP with the van?
No, I was not on that one. That is mostly all Jimmy and Eli Strobeck.
Eli Strobeck.
Who the hell's
Local
that?
legend.
I believe
he was the legendary Myrtle Beach Ghost Rider.
Oh, that
for
guy,
all
that
the,
guy.
Like,
That's
He makes AI SpongeBob content
now he makes AI SpongeBob songs.
and he's like blowing up
Yeah.
too. Like it's super huge.
Wow.
It's funny.
It's pretty good.
You've probably seen his stuff already, and you
just didn't know.
Didn't know it was him.
Just didn't know.
Wow. That's
He's
one way
made-
to put food on the table.
He's had some great success
Yeah.
outside of that too. I'm pretty sure, but that's a different episode.
Yeah, I can't speak on that,
Yeah.
but he's done well.
Good
That's
for
nice.
him. Shout out to Eli Strobeck.
So, you didn't play on the van one.
No,
What, hey, were you in Cicala?
I played guitar for Cicala for a short amount of time. I even almost forgot about that until you said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was something that I did thinking that I could handle it, and I recorded on Dream I Had and did all the lead guitar on that.
Oh, really?
And then was supposed to go on tour. And Quinn brought this up to me recently. I didn't remember this, but apparently there was a big tour that I was supposed to go on, and I just backed out of last minute, which is just because I couldn't afford it at the time. I was like, oh, I'm going to be homeless if I don't do this. So I didn't do it. I also didn't have any guitar gear. I had a guitar, but no amp and no pedals or anything. I was like borrowing Cody Colbreth's Fender Frontman.
What about yourself? What year was that?
I think that's still
Probably
happens
also
to be
2015.
I wouldn't do anything.
15, right? I don't think we didn't really talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Everyone only knew us from
Yeah, you
Kid
didn't
Kappa.
really.
We were like,
Yeah, I didn't like formally meet either of you for a while, probably.
yeah.
Until Windley. I know that I'd seen Kid Kappa, but I didn't like...
You don't like it?
I'm not a very social person in general, so I probably just played my set, watched like a little bit, and then dipped because I was like, oh, there's people. But I definitely remember Kid Kappa being a thing and being good, but I don't remember ever
Good.
being like...
What was your
oh,
memories
you-
of Kid Kappa?
You eat out of the trash?
Pretty
pretty
good.
Wow.
Pre-Windley.
Pre-Windley, yeah.
Those were all just.
Those were some dumb fucking...
Those were just like bad.
it was fun. It was fun first band.
Speak for yourself.
We did our first band.
Yeah. There's some people who like Kid Kappa more than Windley.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Wait, who are they? So we can fight them.
They also
No worries,
go
they're
to
going
hell.
They're going to hell.
Yeah, okay, cool.
We're good. All right. Sorry, I was eating a Cliff Bar. Great audio. You know, I got shit stuck in my teeth. Don't worry, I'll cut this out.
Shout out to Cliff Bar.
Clifford Barrington, I believe is the guy.
I believe that. I believe you're correct.
Yeah. He said, "Hey, how about if wood chips gave you protein? What if they gave you power?
What a
But
guy.
they had like they had chocolate chips in it."
Yep.
Shout out to him.
Son of a bitch. Okay, so you did okay. So you played on Dream I Had. You did the lead guitar.
Yeah.
There's some tasty stuff.
That's some, that's honestly that's definitely I think that's the best album.
I
I'll
would
be
agree.
honest. I'll be honest.
I think I've said it to everybody in that band.
Yeah.
Except for Quinn. I haven't talked to him in a long time. I think I've said it to you and Jimmy that I think that's the best album.
Those are very nice.
I don't want to,
It's too kind.
That's only like my opinion because it's all I imagine it's kind of weird like you do so much shit, but you got someone to come up to you and go, "Oh yeah, the first thing you did is I think it's the best thing," and I still think the other stuff's good, but it's like nothing hits the first thing like how I feel it does. That makes sense. Yeah.
I think
it's always
it must have sat with me in some way. Like the first
which is
time
my
I heard
personal
it.
preferences and taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
It's a
the
good
people
album.
that think that, except for people's preferences that Kid Cap was a better band.
Oh
Yeah, those people. Are going
whatever. That's fine. So you didn't play a lot of shows. You only did the Dream I Had.
I think I did one weekender with them. we were supposed to do 2 weekenders. The one weekender went great. It was super fun, super great. Played some cool shows, and it was like Tourneforte and Quinn, so we were doing like 2 sets essentially, which went pretty well. The second run we were supposed to do, I think we played 1 show, and then on the way to the second show, the van broke down, and we ended up having to like push the van sort of up a hill. Then it went downhill, and we were at a gas station. Then we hung out at a Walmart parking lot for the night, and then spent the next whole day at some auto shop just being so bored. Didn't play those other shows. And I want to say that was the last thing I did with Quinn before I was like, yeah, I don't have any gear. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. And then you were just Tourneforte full time. Were you doing anything else?
No, at the time.
This is
pretty much.
2015 now. Where I'm trying to get in a.
I guess I was
sort of
still
like
doing supporting cast for a while after that.
Okay, that makes sense. So how about when you start doing were you in anything else besides the one band with our dude, right? You played with Mike Love, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cover band.
Did you do anything else outside of Tourneforte? Like it's just been Tourneforte?
No, it's pretty much just Tourneforte.
Yeah. So
Quite a while.
talk about like when it started to really like kick off, because I remember there was a period just as an outsider who was mainly just sticking to like hardcore side of the scene. Like I feel like there was a period where it was like start and stop a little bit.
Yeah, so we sort of still have this problem, but we couldn't really lock down a bass player. Quinn was pretty steady, but Quinn had his own thing, Quinn was doing a lot of stuff, so we'd play shows when we could, and I feel like Tourneforte was on the back burner for a while, and like both Jimmy and Quinn had Quinn band that they were doing, and I was just like, man, I really wish we could do Tourneforte full time.
Sure.
But it never like really, really happened, and I want to say that it was pretty much that way until Jimmy moved to Georgia, which essentially Tourneforte died for a minute when that happened. But it wasn't until Jimmy moved back that we were like, oh, we'll start taking this seriously and doing it again. And we started writing songs and just ended up writing what would eventually become Swimming Lessons. And Quinn was still in the band at that point. But we wrote all of Swimming Lessons and then kind of went to record that and had Quinn. And then Jose came and recorded some parts. And that was the first time Jose had ever been in the band. But I was just kind of, that's around the time that it pretty much became all Tourneforte was when Jimmy moved back.
Okay. Were you involved with the 11-12 stuff? Am I getting that?
Yes, the Staring at the Sun stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
You played
that was
drums on
me,
that?
Jimmy, and Quinn.
Okay.
Quinn played bass, Jimmy did his thing, and I played drums.
Yeah. So when he moved back and the band started really going, what was it? What was that first push like? I guess you were doing the Swimming Lessons songs.
It essentially, I think we might have played one show shortly after Jimmy moved back before the pandemic happened. But other than that, like most of what it was just me and Jimmy in a storage unit, just hashing out stuff and just playing songs. And we wrote like 3 or 4 that we ended up trashing before we ended up settling on the rest of what was going to be Swimming Lessons. And yeah, we really didn't play any shows during whatever time frame that was. We just kind of jammed in a storage unit.
Yeah. Was that how like a lot of the songs came out? Just jamming whatever? Or was it really, like...
Jimmy would so usually Growing with the Weeds was the only song that came about by us just like kind of screwing around. And like I think we were just jamming, and then Jimmy like took that home and turned that into stuff. A lot of the other things were like Jimmy would come in with like most of an idea, and then me and him would work on it for a while and kind of hash things out and sort it out, and he would take it home and work on it more and come back with it, and just a whole lot of... Jimmy's a really good idea guy, and Jimmy writes really good songs. So Jimmy would usually come in with what was already a really great song and just be like, let's, work on this. Let's make this better. And then we would flesh that out. And a lot of it still was kind of different from what ended up being on the record until, we had like a few other outside sources be like, oh, well, you guys should do this or you should do this.
Who are the outside sources?
Matt Tootin.
Who?
Matt Tootin.
Who the hell's that?
He's the guy that recorded all of Swimming Lessons and all of Staring at the Sun. He's like,
okay.
He used to be big in the scene here. He's the original singer for The 100th.
The 100th.
The 100th.
See, I was never, I wasn't around for that.
I mean, me either, but he just has a good ear for songs. Like, he knows when to trim the fat, and he knows when to be like, oh, well, this is good, but it's too much. Like, let's take this back. Or he's a very good producer. He's just a very good musician in general. So he's good at what he does.
So, Swimming Lessons, that comes out. I remember that, right?
Yeah, that puts us back to
Which that?
The now times.
Yeah, that's all. It's very close to the now times.
We're in the now times. This is 2020.
I don't know how many years were in between, like, us coming up with the songs from Swimming Lessons and it being released. But I know that when it was released, it was a completely different band playing the songs than what we went in with.
What do you mean? Oh, just mean my members?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think what. No. Yeah. Who was in the band?
Y'all didn't even have y'all were always like a 3-piece.
Yeah. So
we
that's right.
You came back as a 5-piece.
Yeah.
We were always a 3-piece with just me, Jimmy, and Quinn, and then Quinn left to Quinn things, and we didn't have anyone for a while, but we kept recording and kept doing the stuff. And this was also during the pandemic, so that's why we weren't playing any shows off of the record or anything, and that's why we weren't releasing it, because there wasn't really a reason to release it or anything like that. And it wasn't until the pandemic started to wind down that we met Cody, and Cody started playing bass with us, which that brought Mitch, and then we had another member, and then we were just back at it, learning songs as a full band, being like, all right, what are we going to do? What show are we going to play?
How we take over the world.
And that pretty much is what leads us to when we did essentially our first show as that band, which was the record release show for that record.
That was the first show with that band?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Trying to think.
When was that? Would that have been December 21?
That was September 24th. That's when the record came out. I don't remember when the show was.
Was it 2021 though, right? I'm trying to think of what year, because it's all running together.
I think so. It's
That
been
right.
2 years. So yeah, I guess 2021.
I remember thinking I guess that must have been the first show with that lineup.
Yeah, that was one of the first shows that I had gone to locally in Myrtle Beach in a while too, on top of that being the first show that I had played with that band in a long time.
Yeah.
There just wasn't much going on before that I remember. And then that show went really well, and I think we were super stoked on that. We're just like, oh shit, well, how do we keep doing this?
Yeah.
And that pretty much started us taking it seriously and doing exactly what we do this very day.
I remember it sounding super full. And I remember in that moment I was like, there's not really, I like a lot of these bands around here, but there's not any band that sounds this fucking full live.
Full and tight.
Yeah,
even before I joined, I was like, holy shit, they're for real.
Yeah.
These guys are
you.
These guys are doing the shit for real.
Yeah.
They're on X Games mode.
No, it was cool. And Jose was the first edition that we got, and I didn't even know that Jose was going to be in the band. All I know is Jose tracked all of Swimming Lessons with us. He's on every single song. And the whole time in the studio with Jose, I was like, man, I really wish this guy would just join our band and we could just have this guy in our band.
Yeah.
And then luckily shortly after he did, and I was like, oh, cool, Jose's just here now.
What's I mean, he's a super fucking talented dude. I knew he played he plays everything.
Yeah, there's even even in just production and media and content creation, there's nothing that Jose can't do.
Yeah.
And I feel like every day I'm learning something new that he does, and I'm just like, oh, he is not kind of good at a bunch of things. He is perfect at everything that he does.
I remember being at a show one time, and it was like the same day I saw a video of him playing guitar at some place, and he was playing just like jazz guitar. And I remember saying, like, I just saw a video of you playing guitar. What the fuck? And he was like, yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I was there for that conversation.
He was like, yeah.
He was
like,
there filming. He was there filming our set. It was that Brick House show. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
One of the Brick House shows.
He's like, yeah, man, I play guitar sometimes at that place, and yeah, it's pretty fun. I was like, dude, you're doing like fucking Django Reinhardt bullshit, and it's like insane. Like, what do you? I don't. He's like, yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. He wasn't like a dick about it, but he was just like so like.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's nothing to him.
It's just
in
like
a way.
It's just like breathing.
Yeah,
And that's how he makes it
Yeah.
seem. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's...
It's so effortless.
there's been some new Tourneforte singles, and to my understanding, you didn't record on those, did you?
No, I was going through some personal stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
Didn't have the availability.
Okay,
But
were you familiar with the songs?
yes.
Were you involved in the creation of these songs?
A few of them. There were some of them that like Jimmy had sent me. Like Jimmy pretty much sent me all the rough versions of every single one before he even like knew that he was going to record. And I was like, oh no, these are sick.
Okay.
But there were only really a few that we got a chance to practice. And all of this was happening during the time when we didn't have Cody yet.
Okay.
Quinn had just left the band, and it was just me and Jimmy. So like, we weren't really sure what was going on. I had some personal stuff going on. Like at the time, it didn't seem like I was going to be continuing with the band. So I was like, you know, whatever you want to do, like, you know, and whatever. I mean, I didn't even know what that meant at the time, but you know, Jimmy had these other songs and he sent me these ideas and I was like, these are great. And he went up and he made them into something even greater than what he showed me. And I am so happy that I'm still in the band and that I didn't end up not being in the band.
Yeah. So I like these new songs.
I also like these new songs.
I like them too.
They're a lot of fun.
They're fun to play.
I'm excited for potentially more songs.
I know that there will be more new Tourneforte songs.
Yeah.
Big
And
things coming.
they all are really, really great. So
Yeah.
whether that be for anything in particular or just songs.
Yeah, anything in particular? Because I don't know. Well, we'll find out. You know,
Yeah.
you know. So let me ask you this: how annoying and how have you? We talked about the. Let's take it back to the top, shall we? Your anger management skills. How often do they come into play now that you've been playing in a band with Devin?
This might come as a shock, but even less now than ever before. Devin's very good at like reminding me to have fun and that it's okay to be silly.
Huh, that's strange. I don't get that feeling from him at all when we're playing shows.
I mean, I've only played out of town shows with Devin a handful of times, so I mean, I still have time to learn my lesson. But so far, so good.
No, he's a good sport. He doesn't have to like. I feel like with Windley, he doesn't have to do like the reminding because we're all just like on some dumb bullshit pretty much the whole time. We're just you know.
We're on holiday.
We're on a holiday pretty much.
I have to put on the business hat for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
A show.
Yeah.
And then I can take it off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's party time, chumps.
Yeah. But
As long as I know what we're doing and where we're staying, I don't care.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily, I don't know what, I'm not saying like the Tourneforte guys don't do the same thing. I don't know. Devin doesn't talk about this with me. He's like, yeah, I played some shows. That's it. But I did discover.
Because every time I've tried to tell you about it, you say, so how'd it go? And I'll start talking about it. You'll go, ah!
Yeah, it is.
You start
pretty boring,
yawning.
actually.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
So that's why I don't tell you anything. Because you just start going, you start yawning. You start fake yawning. And you say, well, I got to go.
Yeah.
Even though you just got here. You told me to be here. And then
Yeah.
now you got to go.
Yeah. How's it? But, he's pretty tight with the rhythm. Ain't he?
I can be.
He can be.
No, I think he's great.
Yeah.
It's very easy to play with Devin.
Is it?
There's like I've played with a lot of bad bass players.
Yeah.
I'm not naming any names. None of them are the names that I have said while we've been talking.
Okay.
I'll say that. But Devin is one of my favorite bass players to play with. I feel like he's really easy to lock in with.
Oh.
He's really easy to communicate with.
Oh.
You know, there's a lot of things that Devin does right. It's
Thank you,
really,
Kyle.
really not much that he does wrong,
Thank
to
you,
my knowledge. But, you know, Devin is, I'd say, in my top 3 favorite bass players I've ever played with.
We're on the 3 though.
Probably number 4.
Probably number 1.
Wow, dude.
Oh,
Who are the
that's
other
high
2? Who are the other 2?
praise.
Cody's up there,
Yeah.
and then Quinn.
Yeah. But Devin's your favorite. Wow, dude. Hope they don't listen to him.
Thank
What
you,
the
Kyle.
fuck, bro? What the fuck?
Just made me feel good.
No, I'm putting him on the spot, and he's right there. So that definitely.
That's
changes
okay.
his
Devin's
answer.
my favorite. I hate the other 2.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Devin is really good, though. As far as, like, hangs go,
He's all right. He's all right.
like, Devin's a good hang.
I'm like a 6.
He can be. He can be. Some, you know, he does it. I don't know if you ever noticed this. You won't notice it for the rest of the year because he doesn't have any other shows booked.
I get tense.
He gets super tense and he'll do this like fast walk and the upper part of his body is completely still and his legs will fucking run like really fast and he's always like this when it's you know that's when I can really sit back and enjoy.
So you're like a duck.
Yeah, sure.
That's how ducks.
I guess,
that's how
yeah,
ducks
I
I
swim,
guess I'm
you
like
know?
a duck.
You're like a duck, dude. So
Yeah, if I got to like quote unquote run sound, which would, you know, entail holding an iPad or something, like I'm all over the fucking place.
yeah. Talk about this fucking bullshit you guys have been drinking that I guess was discovered on a
Oh,
recent
yeah.
tour.
The spaghetti.
The spaghetti
Yeah.
The world famous spaghetti.
Yeah.
that we've known about for like a month.
Yeah, I mean, I've known about it since Jackson told me about it.
Jackson, the
Jackson-
current
Jackson
lead guitar
May,
player.
the current lead guitar player.
That
The
guy,
Shredge.
that guy is
The Shredge.
fucking great.
They don't call him the Shredge for nothing.
You know, again, when the lineup change happened with Tourneforte, I was like, this is a very full, good sounding band. But then, like, and no disrespect to anyone else in the band, but when that motherfucker Jackson joined the band, I was like, this guy needs. I hope this is what it is, this band, because this is like, I don't think it can get better than what I saw the last time I saw you guys.
No, he definitely really changed the whole vibe and
Yeah.
sound of the band for
Yeah.
me. Like, it's very weird. Like, nothing else changed, and then we got Jackson, and somehow it feels like a completely different band.
I
just
felt
musically.
I felt the same way. I was like, and just like hangs wise too, because you know it's a different person. You get
Yeah,
different
no, it's
energy.
just-
But like, damn, like that dude he shredges it up.
It's another Jose, if you will. Just makes
Yeah.
it look easy.
Yeah, just everything he does just works. Like I remember just Jimmy showing him like, okay, so it's these are the 4 chords that make up that main part, and he just like played each one individually. He's like, oh yeah, I got it, and then he like just plinked around like playing those actual chords, and then just the next part he was.
Wow,
He made it
makes
sound like
laser
gunfire.
beats, huh?
Yeah, he made it sound like
Yeah.
gunfire. Pew, 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 pew,
That's
pew.
very talented.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I got a little bit of an idea.
You can gather.
I've seen it. I remember this one time he I guess this was during Cicala. They did that Springsteen cover, and he sang. Oh, man,
yeah.
that was kick ass.
That's the other thing is Jackson is one of the best songwriters that I've ever met in my entire life, and his like just a great singer. And it's so funny because I forget that because I've known him as just a lead guitar player for so long that a lot of times I forget that Jackson is just like a top-notch songwriter.
He wrote that Springsteen song.
He actually wrote every Springsteen song.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You didn't
But
hear it from me.
Springsteen won't tell you that though.
Yeah.
Springsteen will give him that introduction.
Yeah.
Do I need to say his name?
Uh,
But anyway, Jackson showed us the spaghetti.
oh yeah. The spaghetti.
yeah.
Yeah. Spaghetti.
That's what happened.
Can you describe the spaghetti?
It's been described to me as a poor man's Aperol spritz.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. That
You
doesn't
take a.
mean anything.
You
to
take
me.
a. Well, I mean, it's not. I'm
An
not there
Aperol-
yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
You take a High Life, you crack it open, you take a hearty sip, you pour somewhere between a little bit of Aperol and a lot of Aperol into it.
Until it turns a
And
certain
then you
color.
pour somewhere between a little bit of lemon juice and a lot of bit of lemon juice in it. And then it turns a certain color, as Devin said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He's-
when you know it's time to drink.
He
it.
knows his stuff.
It's
And,
good.
And then
I
it tastes
just-
good, you know?
yeah,
It's
it's
just
very
yummy. I
refreshing.
don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's very refreshing.
And like it occurred to me because an Aperol spritz is an Aperol with champagne,
Okay.
which is good. But you use a Miller High Life because that's the champagne of beers. and I was me banging.
Oh, okay.
on
I was
thing.
like, who the fuck's at
"It's
the door?
Champagne of
You
beers.
got another run-in?
Yeah. You want a set of a mic? But yeah, I was like, holy shit, that's why it's a High Life. But yep, you take a sip out of a High Life and pour some Aperol in there, and you got yourself a refreshing summer drink.
Yeah, and
That
then
can-
you just spaghetti about it.
You spaghetti about
You know?
it.
Spaghetti
It's
about
named after the Tim and Eric sketch where the guy jumps out of the plant and says spaghetti. I don't know why.
Why is it named after that?
I have no idea.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why it was named that. That was why it was named that. Because when he said, because Jackson just said, I forgot what show it was on that run, but he said, hope I can get some spaghettis tonight. I said,
Hey,
what?
why- okay,
I was like,
hey,
what the
pal.
fuck are you talking about?
Hey, pal, why would anyone know what you're talking about?
I was like, what does that mean?
Why would anyone, like, that's such like a, I hope I get some Flurstackeroo while we're out here, dude. Hey, man, what? That doesn't mean anything, dude. How about, hey, man,
You ever heard
I'm,
of the-
I'm
you-
feeling
you-
some Subway. That makes sense. I've been to Subway. Hey, I'm thinking Arby's. Oh yeah, roast beef, dude. We have the meats. I got it. Hey, I hope we get some spaghetti out here. Brother, dude, man. Hey, man. Huh? Someone call fucking dude's having a stroke. He's been way too retired. He's retired way too young, dude. He's had enough fucking JB and Grateful Dead for 8,000 lifetimes. Look at this Hawaiian ass shirt on his. He's having a fucking stroke. This is yeah. He's seeing some sorts of lights.
But yeah, it's what a spaghetti is.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I just asked him, I said, what? And he told me, I was like, that doesn't sound like it would be good. And he said, it is though.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
The rest is it was like 3 weeks ago in
Yeah.
Yeah.
history. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's history.
Yeah. I made one with a land shark.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It can be any light beer really, any kind of light beer like that.
Yeah.
It's really good with a land shark. I was trying to think of a Buffett name for it because it could be like a Buffett kind of drink too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Buffett's penis blood.
Yeah.
Because it's red
Yeah, that's true.
and a little bit of yellow and mixed together.
Wasting away again in Buffett's penis blood.
Yeah.
That's the song.
It's piss. Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this to sort of wrap up. You're pretty comfortable in Tourneforte, I take it.
I'd say so.
Yeah. What else do you hope to accomplish musically? As far like what else do you want to do really?
I try and write songs a lot of the time.
Okay.
I write a lot of riffs. I've been getting pretty good at writing like a good minute and 30-second song.
Mm.
And I guess I don't know if that's like a hope. It's just a thing I like to do, but if I ever could finish a song or write my own stuff, I think that would be nice.
Sure.
It's not like a big bucket list item or anything. It's just, I like playing guitar, and I think if I could find a reason to use that again, that'd be fun.
Yeah. You want to play one of your songs right now?
Right now? Yeah. This one's called Spaghetti About It.
How's it go?
Or Spaghetti.
Okay.
Goddamn it.
So you're gonna be your own. You just basically you want to start a solo project.
That would be
You know,
nice.
Kyle
That'd be fun,
of Tourneforte presents Kyle songs.
Well, now I have to change the name.
What's the name? Well, you got a name in mind?
Yeah, you just said it.
Oh. Kyle songs?
Kyle songs, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong with that?
None better than elephants giving birth.
Okay.
I guess it would
That was
be.
earlier in the
That'd be
episode.
That
we were
was a
talking
callback.
about. Yeah, that's called a callback.
That's called a
In the
callback
biz.
in the comedy biz.
Yeah. All right, man. So what's next for Tourneforte to get the new songs? There's a tour coming up.
There is a tour
Is that
coming up.
announced? Can I say that?
I think so. I mean,
By the time this is out,
it's not like a
should be fine.
secret anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got like a 3-week tour coming up.
Who's that with? Tourneforte.
Clementine,
Clementine. Yeah.
which Clementine we went on tour with last November.
How was that?
Love those guys, super great.
Yeah.
They're very different. They're more of a like My Chemical Romance type,
Oh.
Green Day type band. I know those two bands are kind of different, but like they
I
definitely
get what you
they definitely
mean.
kind of are both of those bands.
I get what you mean.
I enjoy
But
them
there's
a lot.
they're cool
I'm very
guys. They're
excited
fun to hang out with. I'm
Yeah,
excited
yeah.
to tour with them again. Excited to see what they've had cooking. Whatever that means.
They've been
I
cooking.
know what it means. I know what you mean. I gave you that face because I was trying to remember Clementine, and I got him confused with the other band that played at Brick House last time.
Oh, so that face wasn't so much for me then.
I was having a conversation in my head.
Okay, that makes me
Who
feel
the
better.
fuck was that?
The conversation's right here, Andrew.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
We're doing a
was listening.
podcast right now.
I was listening.
You're having a
This
mental
is your podcast.
Huh?
This is your podcast.
It's Windley's podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just kind of like I'm in the driver's seat.
of this short bus.
Garrett and Connor
my
are
bad.
here.
My bad.
But they're not here. You know what I mean?
They're here when they see fit,
Yeah. Which is never.
which is never.
I don't know. Garrett's pretty fit.
Well,
He
he's
is very
fit. Yeah, he sees fit all the time because he fucking picks.
I'd say
it
he
up.
sees fit every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a job. That's how he puts food on the table and muscles on his body.
Touche.
Yeah. So the tour, more songs.
Tour, more songs.
Anything
probably.
else? Do you want to do the whole spiel that happens during the show? Where talking about the social medias and stuff. Do you want to do that whole thing? Do you know it yet?
No, I don't know it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, where can you Tourneforte with Tourneforte?
You can listen
People
to
know this.
Tourneforte on any streaming platform. We like Spotify because it helps the algorithm, which helps us.
Yeah.
We're on Apple Music, YouTube Music, any pretty much anything as far as I understand.
Yeah.
We're pretty active on the Instagram. I'd say Instagram's a good spot, probably the best spot. Facebook's okay, but not everyone's on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd say probably Instagram and Spotify are the big ones.
Okay, Tourneforte.
Tourneforte.
That's T.
O.
You.
Let me guess. N-R-F.
N.
E.
O.
R.
E-T.
E.
R.
L. Yeah, dude, 6.
Windley.
Donkey. All right.
Windley.
Do you have anything else intelligent to say, Kyle?
Not really.
Yeah.
I have to pee pretty bad.
No one usually does.
What about me?
Do you have anything intelligent to say, Devin?
No, I'm glad you asked.
All right, good. Well, thanks, Kyle, for hanging out. I'm glad I got to learn I learned so much about you.
Yeah, I honestly would say this is the best conversation that you and I have had together.
Yeah, well, I have to set all this up in order to function as a sociable adult.
I feel like this has been a really great bonding experience for the two of us.
I'm definitely feeling bonded.
I like all the bonding in this room.
Yeah.
lot of bondage.
hold
We
on,
should
I'm
get
just
some
looking at
more. We should get
dates.
some gear for all the bondage
Let's
that's
see.
going on.
Fuck. Okay, well, the hymn. Okay, sorry, I should have made note about some other stuff. All right, so, but yeah, you've informed me a lot, and I have to say that I love watching you play drums, and I love seeing you play guitar whenever you do.
Thanks.
So,
I love watching you do the things you do.
Yeah, people usually
You play guitar very, very well.
Oh, thank you.
I respect you very much, and I'm just like, dang, this guy.
No, yeah.
He shreds.
All right. Best in the world.
Sorry. I'm your guest. You're not mine.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I knew you were nervous, but it wasn't so bad.
Still pretty nervous. But
Why are you so nervous? You got to pee. I'll shut the fuck up.
That's
all right?
probably the main thing, but I
All
don't
right.
know.
All right, Devin. Don't you know about Myrtle Beach shows?
Why don't you tell me?
You have to follow at
Why
Myrtle-
don't you tell me about Myrtle Beach shows?
Okay, Jesse. You have to follow at Myrtle Beach shows to know more about shows that happen in Myrtle Beach, so you can go watch shows that go on in Myrtle Beach.
That's a very convenient resource.
There's a lot of shows that go on in Myrtle Beach shows, but there's no show like a Myrtle Beach show, if you know what I'm saying.
That's what the kids are saying.
Yeah, and if you go to the show, it will show for it how good they are to go to. You got to go to at Myrtle Beach shows, because November 18th at Fresh Brewed Coffee House, there's going to be a rap show. With Savant, Christian Gill, Bisky Christ? Our main man, Bubba Graham, and Frank the Frog, former, he was a guest last week.
A couple of those guys have been guests.
At Fresh Brewed Coffee House, $10 at 7:30. I believe that's going to be the doors. It's going to be a bumping night, dude. People are going to be bumping and humping because Bubba Graham's going to be up there talking about fucking bad man. Yeah, dude, it's going to be badass. I can't wait. November 19th, literally the next day, baby. Does he have the show announced? He was pretty vague about it last week. There's a show on November 19th at Next Level Fitness Gym. Just keep an eye on it. Go
I
to
mean, it's on the
shows.
flyer, so you
Okay,
can say
so
it.
Restless
Those
Spirit,
flyers are out there.
Restless Spirit, Hymns of Blasphemy, Bathsheba, and another band, I guess. At Next Level Fitness Gym. It's gonna be. This is the benefit show, right?
Yeah, it's a method show.
Right on, right on.
I won't be there. They got a different bassist.
November 26th at Arcadia Studios is going to be Rat Poison, Intimidator, Quiet from Charleston. Shh, be quiet. Warning Order and Dead Friends. Not the alive one, folks, the dead ones, so keep that in mind. At Arcadia Studios, November 26th, $10. 8 p.m. at Myrtle Beach shows. We already played those shows that happened. That was fun, wasn't it?
Oh, those shows
I was really
were awesome,
good. I
yeah.
really knew how to remember those songs.
Yep, you did great.
Okay,
You
so
did flawless.
for more Windley crap, you got to follow at Windley_band to keep up with all the fun stuff that happens. There's going to be songs. There's going to be an EP.
There's going to be podcasts.
There's going to be lots of podcasts because been doing this
all week.
I'm gonna get a little manic about it, but we're doing it. And shows, of course, because bands they usually sometimes play live, including us. So got to follow at Windley_band for all the fun stuff. That is all, man. Devin,
Mandrew,
Kyle,
Man.
Cal,
Raymond.
and Raymond.
Everybody loves Kyle.
Everybody love him. And me. All right, goodbye.
Bye.
Kyle's got to pee. Let's go.